In the old town of Nworie, there lived a young man named Chisom. Chisom was known for two things: his quiet strength and his devotion to a girl named Adaeze. Their story began when they were only children. Chisom was 8, Adaeze was 7, and she had fallen into the shallow stream behind her father's farmland. Chisom had pulled her out with small shaking hands, crying louder than she was. From that day, her mother jokingly called him "husband of my daughter," and everyone laughed. But as the years passed, the joke settled into something deeper, something warm, something that followed them everywhere like a shadow. Adaeze grew into one of the most beautiful girls in Warrior. Her skin glowed like oiled bronze. Her laughter moved through the air like the sound of metal bracelets clashing softly. And her eyes had the kind of brightness that made you believe that tomorrow would be better than today. Chisom, on the other hand, was not the most handsome boy, but there was a kind of quiet confidence in him that made even the elders nod when he spoke. He had the strength of someone who had suffered young and survived it. Their love grew without words. People saw it in the way she carried two kola nuts instead of one when she went to greet him. They saw it in the way he fetched water for her mother, even when he was tired from farm work. They saw it in the way he never let any other boy tease her. It was as though a path had already been drawn for the two of them long before they were born. But life in Warrior was not easy. Work was plenty, but opportunities were few. And as Chisom grew older, he knew he needed more hope if he had wanted to marry Adaeze and care for future children. Her father, a proud man known as Ogbuefi Nnamdi, had made it clear to any man who hoped to marry his daughter that poverty should not follow them into his compound like an uninvited guest. So Chisom decided he would travel. He heard of people who crossed the desert or the ocean to search for greener pastures, and he vowed he would not be counted among those who left without coming back. He wanted to go legally, properly, not through the dangerous routes many used. It took 2 long years of saving, of carrying people's loads in the market, of making and selling bamboo baskets, of waking up before sunrise and sleeping after the moon had climbed high. But finally, he got the chance. A distant uncle living in South Africa agreed to take him in. The night before he left, he and Adaeze met under the udala tree near the village square. The moon was bright, almost too bright, as if it wanted to witness their promise. He held her hands small but full of warmth, and told her, "I will come back for you. I will become a better man for you." Adaeze leaned her head on his chest and whispered, "I will wait for you, no matter how long it takes." Those words wrapped around his heart like a sacred oath. When Chisom left Nworie the next morning, half of the village came to see him off. Some wished him well, some prayed for him, some shook their heads quietly because they had seen many who left and never returned. But Chisom did not look back. He walked ahead with hope burning in his chest like a hidden fire. The journey was not easy. The world was bigger than he expected, colder too. South Africa was nothing like home. The buildings towered over people like great trees with steel back. The streets never slept, and the people walked with a hurry he could not understand. For months, he struggled. He washed dishes. He swept floors. He carried heavy goods in a warehouse. He slept in a small room with 3 other men, all of them dreamers like him, all of them running from past they never spoke about. He worked and saved and went to school at night, learning carpentry and later moving into furniture design. Slowly, his hands grew skilled enough to make tables and chairs people admired. Money started coming in small, but steady streams. His confidence grew. His world widened. He began to believe that his dreams were not too far away. Through the years, he and Adaeze wrote letters. She sent pictures sometimes, pictures where she stood shyly in front of her mother's house, or beside her brothers during festivals. She told him everything, how the compound dog had gave birth to 6 puppies, how her mother's shop was doing well, how her father still asked about him with a loud grumble, as if pretending he didn't care. Chisom kept every letter in a wooden box under his bed. 8 years passed, 8 long years of working, saving, building, hoping. He had returned home only once midway, but the visit was short. His papers were still in process and he couldn't stay long. But Adaeze's smile during that visit stayed with him for years afterwards. Finally, when he felt ready, he decided it was time to come back home for good. He had built a good life. He had saved enough to start a workshop in Nworie. He had bought clothes, gifts, beautiful fabrics for Adaeze, a gold-plated necklace with her name carved on it. His heart was full. He imagined her face when she saw him. He pictured their wedding. He dreamed of the children they would raise. He sent a message to her family that he was coming back. The reply from her mother was warm, but something about it felt off. Too formal, too short. He brushed it aside. Maybe she was just busy. Chisom's flight touched down in Lagos first, then Enugu, and finally he made his way to Nworie on a hot afternoon. The sun was blazing, the air thick with dust, and the village was almost quiet except for the distant laughter of children. He walked into the village like a man returning to his throne. People recognized him. Some shouted his name, some hugged him, some were surprised he returned at all. But his heart beat fast as he approached Adaeze's family compound. He expected to see her waiting outside, maybe running to him, maybe hiding her smile the way she used to. But she wasn't there. Instead, her younger brother Chibuike stood at the gate. He was older now, taller, with the face of a man no longer a boy. "Welcome back, Chisom," he said, but his smile did not reach his eyes. "Where is Adaeze?" Chisom asked, adjusting the strap of his travel bag. Chibuike hesitated, then stepped aside. "Come inside." The compound felt different. The air felt heavier. Even the orange tree in the corner seemed older and sadder. Chisom's footsteps slowed as he walked in. Adaeze's mother came out first. Her wrapper was tied carelessly, her eyes puffy. She tried to smile, but her lips trembled. "My son, welcome," she whispered. Chisom swallowed. "Where is Adaeze?" The old man opened her mouth, but no words came out. Then he heard it, a soft cry, a baby's cry. Chisom turned toward the sound. A woman walked out of the inner room. Adaeze. But not the Adaeze he remembered. She had a baby tied to her back with a worn cloth. Her eyes were tired, dark around the edges. Her body had changed. She looked older, heavier, and different. But it was her. Adaeze froze when she saw him. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then the baby on her back cried louder, and her hands trembled. "Adaeze!" His voice broke without warning. She closed her eyes. He stepped closer. Is this your child?" She nodded once, a tear slipping down her cheek. His chest tightened. "Oh," he breathed. You got married?" This time, she shook her head. The silence that followed was deep enough to swallow sound. Chisom felt something cold crawl into his bones. "Whose child?" he asked in a whisper. Adaeze opened her mouth, but her mother stepped in, shaking her head quickly, trying to speak for her, trying to protect her child. "My son, things happened. Time passed. You know how life can be." Chisom raised a hand gently to stop her. "Adaeze," he said softly, "did you wait for me?" Adaeze sobbed quietly. "I waited," she whispered. "I waited for years. Then I fell." Chisom clenched his jaw. Who? She looked away, biting her lower lip. Who is the father of your child? He asked again. This time, before she could answer, a voice came from behind them. I am. Chisom turned sharply, and his world collapsed. Standing by the mango tree was his closest friend from childhood, Somto, the boy who had shared roasted yam with him, the boy they had called his brother, the boy who had carried him home when he sprained his ankle while climbing trees, the boy who had promised to look after Adaeze while he was gone. Somto, and he was holding a second child in his arms, a girl with Adaeze's eyes. Chisom stared, unable to breathe. For a moment, the whole world felt too still. Then something snapped inside him. He dropped his bag. His hands shook, not from anger, not from grief, but from something deeper. Betrayal dripping like blood inside him. Somto, he said slowly, tell me it's not what I'm thinking. But Somto didn't speak. He didn't deny it. He didn't even try. He only looked down, guilt covering him like a heavy cloth. Chisom's voice cracked. You of all people. Somto looked up, tears forming. I didn't mean for it to happen, he said in a whisper. She was lonely. Your letters stopped coming sometimes. People said you found someone else abroad. She cried a lot. I tried to comfort her. One thing led to another. I'm sorry. I swear, I'm sorry. Chisom staggered back as if Somto had hit him. Adaeze closed her eyes tightly as tears streamed down. Her mother knelt on the ground suddenly. Chisom, forgive us, she pleaded. Life tested her. Life tested all of us. But Chisom couldn't speak. His throat was tight, burning, his vision blurred as memories flashed before him. Adaeze laughing under the udala tree, promising to wait. Somto clapping him on the back the day he left, saying, don't worry, I'll take care of her. Take care, indeed. After what felt like hours, Chisom finally spoke. His voice was quiet, almost gentle, but it held the sharpness of broken glass. You made me believe I still had a home here. You made me believe I still had her. Adaeze covered her face. Somto stepped forward, but Chisom stepped back. Don't, he said softly. Don't come closer. A long, heavy silence settled between them. Finally, Adaeze spoke through her tears. I'm sorry, Chisom. I didn't plan for this. I waited. I prayed. I hoped. But loneliness is a terrible thing, and your friend was always there. Chisom looked at her, really looked at her, the woman he had loved all his life, and he realized something painful but true. She was no longer his, and he could never turn back time. He picked up his travel bag slowly. The weight felt heavier somehow, as if filled with all the years he had lost. He turned and began to walk toward the compound gate. But before he left, he paused. Without looking back, he said quietly, I traveled abroad to be a better man for you. I came back and found out I was too late. Then he walked out. No one followed him. No one called his name. The sun was beginning to set, painting the sky in deep shades of red, and the wind carried the soft cry of Adaeze's child. Chisom walked until he reached the udala tree, where they had once made promises. He dropped to his knees. He didn't cry loudly. He didn't shout. He only let the tears fall quietly, soaking into the red earth that had known his footsteps since childhood. After a long time, he stood up. Something inside him had cracked, but something else had awakened. He wiped his face and whispered to the empty air around him. It is not the end, because life had taught him something that day. Not every story ends the way the heart wants. Some end to make room for new beginnings. And though Chisom's heart was heavy, it was still beating. And as long as it beat, he knew he would rise again. He looked one last time at the village and turned away. He walked into the evening toward a future he had not planned, but would face with the strength he had built from nothing. Because even broken hearts learn to build again. And the man who traveled abroad to be better would learn to be better for himself, not for anyone else, not ever again. And that was how the story ended. My dear viewers, if you listened and watched to this end, I want to say a very big thank you to you. Thank you for staying true. I really appreciate. And trust me, I do not take it for granted. My name is Zara the Crown Teller. If you're coming across my channel for the first time, kindly subscribe, click the notifications button so that when next I post thrilling stories, you'll be the first person to get them. And if you're a returning subscriber, big hugs. Thank you for always coming around. I truly appreciate. Until I see you in my next video. Bye.